Hey everybody, this is Barry with the LawFull channel. How you doing today? This is Friday, April 16th, and this is the second edition of our going live every week. I get so many questions on this channel every week from people who don't have access to legal representation, or at least good access to it, and they're always asking questions, and so I thought I'd pick the top five to go over every week, since these seem to be the questions that I get asked over and over and over again. So, without further ado, I want to jump into this. But if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so. And listen, I have a huge network of attorneys that I work with all over the place. So if you have a legal issue and you need some help, please reach out to me. I'm happy to make an introduction. Okay. So again, this is the top five comments I got on this channel this week. And number one comes from Union Jack. And Union Jack is killing me. Here's what Union Jack said. He said on my video about what to do when an insurance company denies your claim, which is basically you file a lawsuit. He said, you have a supreme ability to say nothing convincingly. Really? Jack, I'm a lawyer. I've uploaded like 76 videos on legal topics, like on property damage, pain and suffering, just about everything you can think of. And Jack, you can't find anything on my channel that was helpful to you? Union Jack, I hope you are watching this video, and I would like to ask you to please go check out some of my other videos and see if I provide value on those videos. Tell me if I provide you value in this video, because I'm going to ask or answer questions that I get asked all the time. So Union Jack, you're killing me, but listen, I've got a sense of humor. I think it's a funny comment. And if you notice on my thumbnail for this week's live session, I actually put your quote on the thumbnail. So congratulations, you are famous. This is your 15 minutes of fame. One person who I did help this week is a guy named Sammy from California. I'm not going to give you his last name. Super nice guy. Was involved in an accident and asked for some help negotiating with the insurance company. And I'm not going to get into his case, but I just wanted to point out that Sammy's case is one of those weird situations where it's actually better under the current circumstances not to get a personal injury attorney involved. So I know that I've said on this channel 1,000 times, if you want to recover or maximize your recovery, get a personal injury attorney involved. There are some situations where it's not beneficial, and his was one of them. So I will try to give you an objective perspective on your case when you reach out to me. All right, so let's get into the next four best comments I got on the channel this week. Number two is from Cassidy Goodwin. And she watched my "How long does it take to settle a car accident claim" video. And basically, she got into an accident, and the driver's insurance, the driver's at fault for the accident, but they can't find their insured, or their insured hasn't reached out to them, or maybe he's dodging them. This happens all the time. And it's a bad situation. Number one, it's the reason I recommend you always file a claim with your own insurance. All right. People are always concerned their rates are going to go up. Nobody can guarantee that your rates aren't going to go up. All right. But trust me on this. Filing with your own insurance is going to get your property damage fixed a lot quicker than waiting for the other guy's insurance to investigate and accept responsibility and then get your car fixed. So file with your own insurance after an accident. But here's the other issue about this. If the driver of the vehicle, if his insurance or her insurance cannot find their insured, there's a very good likelihood that they're going to deny your claim because their insured is not cooperating with them. Well, then it becomes all the more important that you filed a claim with your own insurance. And I know, again, I just want to reiterate, people are always worried about that. And they always ask me, well, are my insurance rates going to go up? Nobody can promise that they're not going to go up. But generally speaking, if you're not at fault for the accident, they won't go up. That's what I've just generally seen. But nobody can guarantee that. So Cassidy, I hope I was able to help you with your issue. If there's anything else I can do for you, please reach out to me and let me know. All right, the third comment of the week that I wanted to point out to you, and by the way, for those of you who are watching, if you have any legal questions, this is an open forum, so feel free to ask me and I'll try to do the best I can to answer it. The third question of the week comes from South Bay 281. And it was also on the same video. How long does it take to settle a car accident claim? That video gets a lot of traction because one of the things people want as soon as possible is their money. They want their compensation, and deservedly so. They got injured through no fault of their own, and they want to get paid. But here's what he said. Oriana, I guess it's South Bay, could be a she. It's been 15 months, and they're still waiting to resolve the case. A demand was sent 5 months ago, and the last time they heard anything was 2 months ago. Now, I responded back to South Bay, and I said, well, listen, so your attorney submitted a demand package 5 months ago, and you haven't heard back? Something is off there. Now, I didn't hear back from him, so I don't know if he has an attorney, if he submitted the demand on his own, but listen, insurance companies, generally speaking, have little obligation to respond to you. Believe it or not, there's laws about they have to respond within 30 days and they'll send you a form letter, but that kind of stuff is totally worthless, right? I mean, a substantive response is what you want to a demand for compensation. The only leverage you have when it comes down to it, the bottom line is the only leverage you have is to file a lawsuit. Because in a lawsuit, the insurance company will assign an attorney, either in-house counsel or an outside attorney, to file a response to your lawsuit. And that they have a time limit within which they can respond to. So that's the only leverage you really have. Yeah, there are other things like bad faith claims, but those are few and far between. And I haven't seen much of that in my practice. So the bottom line is file a lawsuit if you're dissatisfied in the insurance company's response. But the other thing I wanted to say is that 15 months to file or to resolve a personal injury claim is actually not that long. 15 months is not long. Last year, I had a case that had been going on for 5 years, finally resolved. 5 years in a case. It was a big case. 15 months is nothing. I met with clients last week who were involved in a slip and fall, and it's been 2 years, and I told them the same thing. 2 years is even nothing to resolve a case, especially I'm in Chicago, in Cook County. 2 years to resolve a case in the Cook County court system is not a long time. So you may have to show a little patience. However, I would reach out to your attorney and kind of put the pedal to the metal and say, listen, if they don't get back to us, we need to send a follow-up letter. They've got 30 days to respond. Otherwise, we'll be filing a lawsuit. So South Bay, I hope I provided you a little feedback there and some guidance. Let's go on to the fourth question of the week, and it's from Michael in Indiana. I did a video on the types of motorcycle insurance that people should have. And by the way, that applies not only to motorcycle insurance, that applies to car insurance, all types of insurance. Generally speaking, the biggest issue is what is the single most important type of insurance somebody should have, and that's uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, and as much of it as you can get. You'll be surprised how inexpensive it is. But anyways, he commented that in Indiana, going from $0, having no coverage for medical payments on an auto policy, to $25,000 doubles the price of the policy. So first, let me explain, what is medical payment or med pay coverage? MedPay it's an important piece of coverage you can have in your auto policy, because what it does is it covers the first $2,500 or $5,000 of your insurance, of your medical bills. In some states, MedPay has priority, meaning you have to turn to your MedPay to pay your medical bills first. But MedPay is really great for paying co-pays, and things like that. I mean, if you go to physical therapy and you have to put out $20 every time you go, or $40, or who knows these days, having a MedPay policy can be really beneficial, and it doesn't cost you very much. Now, Michael talked about having $25,000 in MedPay. I've never heard of anybody having $25,000 in MedPay. You need $2,500 or $5,000. And so what I'd recommend you do is contact your insurance adjuster and tried to make sure that you have med pay coverage on your policy, and that you have, I mean, the usuals: collision, comprehensive, liability, of course, but also as much and UIM, which is uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage. Have as much as you possibly can. I have $250,000. 15% of everybody on the road is uninsured, and a vast majority of the rest of the people are underinsured. So what happens if you get in a serious accident, especially if you're on a motorcycle? So that is my strong recommendation about motorcycle insurance, but all types of insurance, really. All right. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to let you know that for each of the comments that I'm talking about here in this video, I put the link to the full video in the comments section. So you can click through to that and check it out if you want to. The next comment and final comment for this week came from Rocky in North Carolina. And he watched a video of mine on rear end accidents. Rear end accidents seem to be the single most searched personal injury term on YouTube. Rear end collisions, that kind of stuff. I get a lot of comments on rear end accidents, and it makes sense. And by the way, personal injury attorneys, I'm trying to say this respectfully, but we like personal rear end accidents because liability or responsibility for the accident is crystal clear. If you get into another type of accident, maybe it's a T-bone or a side swipe or whatever it might be, liability may not be as clear. But in a rear end accident, generally speaking, liability is crystal clear. Anyways, Rocky asked, he's in North Carolina, and he had $5,000 in medical bills and another $1,000 in damages. And the insurance company offered to pay his medical bills and give him $1,000 for his pain and suffering. Folks, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. This is the typical insurance company BS. This is what happens when people do not hire lawyers to represent them and they have significant injuries. Not to say that $5,000 in medical bills is a lot, but it's worth a ton more than $1,000 in pain and suffering. So I would strongly recommend not giving the insurance company the opportunity to lowball you. I did a whole video on why insurance companies lowball you. It's because they can save billions of dollars, and they do it on every single claim, not just your claim. So, Rocky, I hope I was able to provide you with some good information. And I hope that you will reach out to an attorney to represent you, because you're getting lowballed, buddy. I hate to say it. Listen, thanks for watching for this short live broadcast on the top 5 legal questions of the week. I'm going to do it again next week with 5 more questions. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm an open book with regard to personal injury, car accidents, and that kind of stuff. And if you need a referral to an attorney anywhere, I've got a huge network of attorneys, and I'm happy to introduce you to somebody. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week.